Namaskar viewers, I'm AKC and today I'm bringing another success story of a new engagement. Incidentally, this is also from APAC region as well, and this is where we were working with the client in one line of business, and the challenge was how to expand it to the line. So the client was one of the top three service provider in that particular country. Industry itself, they were quite a big player, but in that particular country they were top three, and they had a good share of market in that place. We were engaged with them in taking care of the testing, all kind of testing, whether it's an in-house project or outsourced project. We were doing all testings. When it comes to testing scope, it was system integration, performance, acceptance. We were into all of that, right? But there was a risk of stagnation because beyond a point, we were kind of not growing that much, because the kind of work which we were doing, when the project was coming to end, the testing used to go off there, the new work coming in. So it was a mild kind of a growth, but we were not getting a big growth there. And the reason for that was obviously the development, was not given to us. In fact, development, support, maintenance, they were all outsourced to local vendors. So we were not, part of that, and hence we were kind of struggling. Now the fallout obviously was that if there's a lack of growth, then member, for their growth also it becomes a kind of a challenge, and client doesn't see much value coming out. They are able to see value in the area where we are working, but it gets limited there. And the measure of success for us was how we are clocking in that particular account, quarterly, yearly, what is the revenue which we are getting, right? So this is the magnitude of the challenge. We were doing good in that particular stream, but we were kind of stuck. So we applied that approach, that six-step common approach: underlying issues, identify, then work on identifying the changes, and then put a time-bound implementation plan. So we applied the same basic approach here also, and let's see what are the things which we identified. So first thing, the big differentiator, or which limitation which we discovered, was that the sales team in that particular country, they were having their own target and they were meeting their target, right? Despite this particular account not growing, they were meeting their target with other clients, right? So there was, I won't say they were not supporting us, but their attention was not there, right? If it is difficult to do business in some areas, then why to spend that much time, right? Which is okay. So that was a big challenge for us, because sales was not pushing that hard in there. The second thing which we also realized is that the client had a very limited visibility about our capabilities. They knew about our testing capabilities, they knew that what we are doing, but they did not have a good understanding. Some of the client didn't even know that what all we do. They thought we are only a house which is doing testing kind of a work, right? So they had very limited visibility on our capabilities. Like, not all, but majority of the client people. And one of the other reason for that was that the people who were interacting with them, they were all those testing skill member. They were on board, and all the interaction they could see only those people. So that kind of also created a bit of a challenge. The fourth challenge we found is that the senior member, I talked about that the growth was not happening, so the people were kind of getting impatient, and when other accounts are growing, so people were being moved out, the senior people particularly. So we could see the continuity of senior people was a bit of a challenge. People were moving to other accounts, and the team member, they were incentivized on delivery, which is fine because they are all delivery guy. So how good quality of work which we are doing, service delivery, they were all judged on that. So these were the five underlying issues. The sales team meeting their target, so their attention was less. The client had limited visibility on our abilities or capabilities. Only testing members were connecting. The senior member getting pulled out, and also the member were incentivized only on delivery related objectives. So the changes which we brought in, first we worked with a client to increase their awareness, right? We started sharing, organizational capabilities, and with a wide range of clients, right? At an operational level, at a mid level, even at a senior level, we started sharing, our organizational capabilities. And whenever we had a chance, we'll talk about it. We also shared success stories, from other client in that country, right? So we wanted to build that we are doing business in this country itself with other clients. So you can also do it. And we also shared success story which was aligned with their industry. So in the previous case, we were sharing success stories in that country. It could be in any industry. In second case, we were sharing success stories in that industry. It could be from any country, right? So we looked at both combination. So that helped in terms of increasing the awareness, clients' awareness. The second thing we identified is to incentivize the team, right? I mean, they should look at growing the account as well. So we initiated something called delivery-led growth (DLG), particularly for the senior member. These objectives were given, and there was sufficient weighting given for this objective in the annual appraisal, so that if somebody is achieving good, then there was a way to encourage these achievers, right? Both in terms of appraisal, in terms of sometime even in financial incentive which was given. So we incentivized the team, right? Third, we also looked at how we can do incremental growth. We may not be able to, all of a sudden expand into new areas and big areas and all that, but how we can do incremental change. For example, incremental growth. For example, we started proactively offering our member to client for any open needs, right? Whether it's in testing or in development or support, design, anything. We started sharing some of the profile based on the job posting which we could see, or the requirement which we could see in that particular organization. We also got some people visa ready, so that when there's a requirement we can push them. And these were the people who were not from testing alone, right? These were from other areas also. So we did that. We also started submitting some proactive proposals, both in testing area and other areas also. And every month one or two proactive proposal we started submitting. So we put a lot of attention in incremental growth in this account. And another thing which we started doing is connecting with the wider audience in that organization. We went beyond our current engagement. We were engaging with mostly those client managers who were dealing with testing, but then we started connecting with other managers who were handling support maintenance, who were handling development kind of work, any other kind of things. We even requested them to include us in their business discussions. When the business and IT users were talking, they were sharing this. We wanted to become part of that so that we understand what all is happening and what is their pain area. And we could start sharing in those business meeting, some of the interesting work which we have done in that area. So the idea was to, make them aware about our capabilities, right? So that kind of make them more aware about it. So these were the four key changes which we brought in: increase clients awareness, worked on that; incentivize team so that we can grow in that; incremental growth, definitely area which we focused on; and connecting beyond our direct client managers. Now, in terms of the changes, the outcome which we received because of these changes were really good. We could generate interest. Within the months itself, we could get few queries about new requirements while we were posting based on the existing one. But then some client managers started reaching out directly. Hey, I have this requirement. Do you have somebody who you can staff it, right? So we started getting those kind of requests, and in 2 quarters time we even got invited for an RFP which was outside the testing area. So that really worked. The second, then we built on the momentum. We could see it grow. The momentum started building in. Now, early success of we able to place some people. I talked about we created some visa ready member, so we could place some of them in their local in that country. instead of local vendors, we started placing them almost at the same time, right? So and these were in the non-testing area. So within 3 quarters, we could place more than 10 plus people in different requirement which client had, right? So that really helped us in terms of expanding into new areas. We could grow, incremental growth we could achieve. First year we grew by about 7%, and that momentum continued. Next year we grew by 11%. I'm talking only by delivery led growth. I talked about one RFP we had got, and that we eventually we succeeded in securing it. But that was in addition to the delivery led growth. So delivery led growth itself gave about 11% growth in the next year. And the mindset also changed. In fact, one slogan become very popular in the team, and that was each year each one get one, right? So if, let's say, for example, we are a 20 member team, right? So each of us can get one member in a year added because of your connect, then we'll become double, right? 20 becomes 40. If somebody asks to grow by 100%, it sounds so difficult. But if each person just looks at adding one more person in a year, it becomes a little more easier that way. And that became a slogan, and it really worked. It helped us in opening new stream. We seeded members in other stream. We expanded into other client managers area. We even cross skill some of the member from a testing. So people who have been there for a long time, and when they wanted to try out something else, we could cross train them and move them. For example, some people move from testing into the support engagement which we are taking care of. So we could manage that, and that helped us in terms of also avoiding people moving around. So overall, I think we overcome this challenge of sticking to one stream. We expand into other areas of different areas of business of that client, right? So I hope you like this story, and my mail ID remains same, connect with akc@gmail.com. If you have anything which you want to share with me in terms of success story or challenge, or if you want to use any aspect from this particular success story, feel free to do that, and I will be very happy if I can provide my advice or tips which can help you. Okay, thank you, bye bye.